I founded Safos Dance Theatre in Tucson, Arizona in 2009 because at that point I wasn't seeing a lot of my community represented in the country dance stages in Tucson, which if you look at the demographics of Tucson and the geography, it's about an hour from the US-Mexico border, it didn't make sense to me to not see those aesthetics and those bodies in most spaces. So we're looking at bridging geographies of the many things together across the Southwest Desert. Stories from Home is a series of dances that are the physical embodiments of the oral traditions of northern New Mexico, where I'm from. I'm the 23rd generation Lolo Mexicana with deep roots in the Southwest. The impetus of the catalyst to create Stories from Home came from my father's passing. He died of cancer in 2015, and I wanted to continue preserving and sharing the family stories in a tradition that I love most, which is dance. So I try to also create an homage in honor of his memory and for all of everything that he provided to me in my generation, right? I think this became the chain. We do supplement the storytelling with spoken word, which I will do live, but also through the audio recording. So the composer that we worked with was able to fold in voices of my good grandmother and dads who are no longer with us. So we hear their voices throughout the performance. And we would only say what we needed to with words that we couldn't communicate through the body. It's trial and error. So there's 8 dances in the full 2-hour length version of Stories from Home. Of those 12, 8 of them have narratives. So each of them, I sat down and I wrote something that accompanies the show. And so there is a script. For example, the dance Pacarito. I do a 12-minute monologue, which is a lot of talking on stage, and I don't have any acting background, so that was a challenge to learn and share that. But I wrote everything out, and then in the rehearsal process, we didn't have music yet, so I was just reading it so the dancers could react to the words. And then the composer came, the dancers were there, and he had a Watikada showing, and I read the Bhutan's doing a rehearsal. And the resounding feedback from the Shinwili and the dancers list, you have to keep that on air. It has to be there because it's providing context that wouldn't make sense with just the movement of the bodies. So they're like that. Yes, we're seeing it through the body, but we need to, the words are so important. You have to provide that context hand in hand. My big research question is, what are the contemporary movements that is of the U.S. Southwest, especially for the peoples that have been there for generations? And it should look different in different regions because they differ. But I'm really going for the expansiveness of the endless desert sky and the landscape, where you can see to the horizon. So lots of lines. A lot of the work is grounded in we're pulling Southwest. The costumes with a lot of discussion about colors, color palettes, the geography of the landscape, but also the geography of the body, and very intentional about the bodies that I cast to represent the people and cultures of the Southwest. You can come in different shapes and sizes and shades of brown, and I think it's important for that to be represented as well. So those are some of the ways in which I've become more famed. The other thing that we do is we incorporate, at first in Stories from Home, we're incorporating animation and digital animation and projection into their project. And there were conversations with the community about, and the dramaturgs I worked with, how do we represent the Southwest landscapes and tell stories through that visual lens as well. So how can we deepen that through reciprocity and also in respectful ways, so that we're not taking, but there's this circle of giving and receiving in that. So I want to continue to focus on elders and the stories of elders and expand the storytelling tradition, move beyond my family and look at cultural practices that are intercultural, that are shared visual Mexicanos and Indigenous communities.